Make some motherfucking noise all the way from Japan. I get money, I'm a star. Star. Yuki! Star.
お金稼ぐ俺らはスター
Hate it or love it, you might have heard Mamushi recently, a song written by Megan Thee Stallion with a Japanese featured artist. This song is literally pretty ass, but, what was I saying? Mamushi meaning pit viper is an easy to sing, light-hearted melody, and it's going to stay in my head at least for a hot minute. It's not common that Japanese artists would collaborate with international artists to create such big hits, so this one is considered a big W among Japanese people. Besides anime or idol music, I can't recall any Japanese hits that recently blew up, except for maybe that annoying-ass Pineapple Pen song, and of course the mega hit by the Teriyaki Boys, Tokyo Drift. In this video, I'd like to talk about the featured artist on Mamushi, a unifying figure in the Japanese music industry, but also what local heads see as the messiah of Japanese hip-hop. This artist is Yuki Chiba, formerly known as Kohh. In this video, I'd like to talk about the life of Yuki and his rise to fame, as well as the cultural impact he has had on the music industry here. I made this video for those who are curious about him, as there isn't a lot of information about him in English. For the purpose of this video, I'll be referring to him as Yuki, rather than his discontinued name, Kohh. So let's get into it. Japanese hip-hop is a respected genre in the country, but has often been in the shadow of idol and rock music. It was first introduced from America in the early 80s and has since then created its own unique identity over the years. With its inception, many of those who were considered underprivileged were given a voice and had an outlet to express themselves. If you look at popular rappers in Japan, many of them have lived lives that are atypical to common Japanese people. As with other parts of the world, hip-hop is popular among social and racial minorities, as well as disenfranchised youth. Only needing a pen and paper, entire generations would find this outlet as a means to express themselves. While there are many rappers and artists that have found fame and success here, such as AK-69, Anarchy, A-Witch, Bad Op, Zebra, Yellow Bucks, none had an impact as big as Yuki Chiba. Born in 1990 to a Japanese mother and Korean father, he grew up in the Toshima housing complex in the Oji area of the Kita ward in Tokyo. This area borders with the Adachi ward via Sumida River and is known as one of the lowest income areas in Tokyo. Some of you guys might be more comfortable with referring to this place as the Hood. When he was just 2 years old, his father tragically unalived himself by jumping off an apartment building while high. Since then, his mother struggled mentally and financially to raise Yuki. She battled an addiction to methamphetamine and mentioned how she was unable to take care of her son, not being able to work or even cook food for him at times. While Yuki was in elementary school, she would attempt to take her own life by also jumping off a high-rise. His mother often being in no condition to raise him, his grandparents would often step in as the caregivers. Growing up dependent on welfare and surrounded by crime, like many others, he became a product of his environment. While he never involved himself in violence, he claims that he witnessed stabbings and drug use was commonplace. Despite growing up in these circumstances, he has a strong connection to his neighborhood and still expresses how proud he is to be from Oji. Although he has since then moved out, he still lives within close proximity to this hood. At an early age, he was exposed to hip-hop music and started writing raps with his neighborhood friends. He chose the stage name Kohh, referencing the surname of his late father, Tatsuo Kohh. The friends he would write raps with became longtime collaborators, and they include Money Horse, Dutch Montana, Wise, and even his little brother, known as Lil Kohh. His longtime producer and later creative director, 318, was also a local, and should be credited with Yuki's success. 318 invited Yuki to his studio, and was immediately impressed with his style and believed that he had great potential. From the age of 18, he would start releasing music under 318's label, known as Gunsmith Productions, and start releasing his mixtapes known as the Yellow Tapes. When Yuki was in middle school, he was heavily impacted by the legendary Japanese hip-hop group King Ghidorah, a trio that was well known for its insightful and realistic themes that reflected political and social issues. He had resonated with their deep and aggressive lyrics, and it was what initially inspired him to pursue hip-hop. In 2014, he was interviewed by K-Dub Shine, one of the MCs of King Ghidorah. In this interview, he expressed his gratefulness to K-Dub Shine for inspiring him and being one of his biggest influences. He mentioned that growing up, he would try to emulate K-Dub Shine's flow and even his voice. K-Dub's Shine song called Imanara, a song which is akin to Tupac Shakur's Dear Mama, was brought up as being a favorite song of both Yuki and his mother. He was able to create a unique style by incorporating storytelling in a simple yet raw delivery. People were saying that he had a head start in the rap game, as he could simply write lyrics about his reality. Despite making a name for himself in Japan, he was still a polarizing figure in the hip-hop scene, often being criticized for making extremely simple songs with provocative lyrics, and wasn't said to have been very talented as a rapper.
See my iPhone 5? 女の子とベッドでフライ。たまに外国人とスカイプ。普段はスタンプ送るライン。
Wanting to differentiate himself from other artists in Japan, he developed this easy-to-listen-to style with rhymes that wouldn't go over your head. His early works were themed around sex, drugs, getting money, flexing, you know, the usual shit, later making more introspective songs about life and love. He first received international attention when Vice dropped their documentary called Rising from the Tokyo Projects, Tokyo's underground hip-hop scene starring Yuki and his friends. This was back when Vice didn't suck, so they were still making some interesting documentaries. Locals who were outside of the Japanese hip-hop scene were surprised to find that people in Japan were living in such conditions and yet had such a positive outlook on life with a drive to succeed in music. Many international viewers may have been surprised to see the same thing coming from Japan. The documentary does a great job of telling Yuki's life story, the situation he came from, but they could have never predicted how far he would have come. While he was slowly rising to the top of Japanese hip-hop, he was criticized by some who would say his rapping style is too simple compared to some of the other rappers who were more lyrical and better at battling.
I'm a spiritual, lyrical individual.
However, once listeners discovered his authenticity, many of his so-called initial haters turned into fans. By the end of 2014, he collaborated with Andy Milonakis and Florida rapper J Stash to make Hiroi Sekai.
Hiroi Sekai, Hiroi Sekai, Hiroi Sekai, Hiroi Sekai, Hiroi Sekai, Hiroi Sekai, Sky Tsuri, Shiyu no Megami.
J Stash and Yuki formed a friendship over the years and would collaborate in over 6 tracks together while promoting each other's music. J Stash had also built a following in Japan and had become known in the industry. Unfortunately, in 2022, J Stash murdered his girlfriend in front of her 3 children in her home in California. He is then believed to have turned the gun on himself, taking his own life. What a goddamn shame. Yuki never commented on this incident publicly. At the beginning of 2015, he dropped his second album called Kuchinashi, which was the #1 hip-hop album in Japan. Shortly after, he was featured on Korean rapper Keith Ape's song called Itjima, a collaboration between Korean and Japanese rappers over a heavy trap beat. This song went viral, nearing 100 million views with many people reacting to it on YouTube. This song went dumb stupid when it came out. The significance of Itjima was that Asian rappers were finally getting the respect and recognition outside of their usual markets. The following years were quite active for Yuki, in both making music, performing, and in modeling. He collaborated in songs with Frank Ocean, Mariah Carey, Utada Hikaru, as well as Taka from One Ok Rock. In the years leading up to 2020, he dropped 3 more albums titled Dirt, Untitled, and Worst. He linked up with 88 Rising and performed at all 18 shows across the US, including 2 stops in Canada. This was alongside Rich Brian, Joji, Keith Ape, and Higher Brothers. After performing at Japan's largest music festival, Fuji Rock, in 2019, he announced his retirement. Or so it seemed.
俺たち何え
チーム友達
チーム友達チーム友達チーム友達
In 2023, he shocked everyone with Team Tomodachi, a simple yet catchy song with a strong southern influence, which he released under his real name rather than Kohh. This song went viral on social media with people reacting and dancing to it. It was especially popular with Gen Z, who spread it like AIDS on TikTok. This caught the attention of many rappers abroad, including NLE Choppa, Bun B, Duke Deuce, and of course Megan Thee Stallion. Bun B and Duke Deuce would later hop onto separate remixes. Team Tomodachi sounds like it was made in 20 seconds, but I couldn't help but appreciate what it truly symbolizes. The power of friendship. I deadass mean that shit. Yuki has countless friends in the scene and is respected as the GOAT of Japanese hip-hop. His discography has the most diverse collaborations with new and old domestic artists, which has also extended to overseas. Even outside of collaborations, you can see other big names appearing in his videos, and in his social media. Believe it or not, the Japanese hip-hop scene is full of beefs and artists hating on each other. Despite this, no one has come out to diss Yuki. Sorry bitches, but Yuki is married and has 2 kids with model Ayana Miyamoto. When he's not busy spreading his seed, he also has his own TV show on ABEMA, which is a Japanese streaming service called Yuki o Kashimasu, which is a play on words meaning, I'll lend you my courage. In this case, Yuki also means courage in Japanese. The premise of the show is Yuki travels across Japan to meet individuals or small businesses that may be facing a unique challenge. He gets to know these people on a personal level and tries to motivate and connect with them. He started a premium fashion brand called The Dogs, which has a select shop run by his friends in Oji. This brand is best known for its apparel, accessories, and jewelry. Yuki Chiba's rise to fame is attributed to his authentic storytelling, easy-to-understand rap, pioneering role in Japanese trap music, influential collaborations, distinct visual style, and his ability to connect with audiences both in Japan and internationally. His multifaceted talents and willingness to push boundaries have solidified his status as one of Japan's most influential contemporary artists. So what does the future hold for Yuki Chiba? A good chunk of his career is in fashion, so I wouldn't be surprised if he were to become a creative director of an international brand sometime in the future. Also, while having a reality show on ABEMA, I wouldn't be surprised if he tried his hand at acting as well. As for music, in a recent interview with Zebra, he said that he would be abandoning his Kohh era songs and will be retiring them from live performances, thus focusing on his new real name persona. As a musician, I expect that he'll make another international hit, seemingly out of nowhere that will go even stupider than ever before. My name is 893Ghost, thanks for watching my video. I hope to make more content in the future about Japanese hip-hop and the underground. If you learned something from this video, please drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Jamata kondo! Peace!